Hi, I'm Greg Nicholson, and I want to welcome everybody to MBK Lounge. You guys know that this is a show about men for men. And there's going to be things that we're going to talk about that we need to talk about, and there are going to be things that we'd like to talk about. And you know what? Sometimes we might not really want to hear it. But as men, we're going to talk about it in the lounge. So today, the topic is really a call to service. The reality is, men, we're in church, we're there, we're praising God, but the reality is that there's another step that I would love for us to take, and that take is for us to serve. It's really important that as leaders, we begin to do that. When I spoke with you last, I said that, I'm always going to have a scripture or something biblical for us to think about. And I was in a Bible study recently, and the minister was talking about a story from Luke 22, and it was at the Last Supper. And it was afterward that the disciples asked Jesus, they said, hey, who amongst us is going to be the greatest? And he said, there are leaders in the world, they have all kinds of titles, right? And they get the benefit from that, and that's what people like to do as leaders. But he said, that's not going to be you. He said that what is better, for you to serve or to be at the table? Now, I'm sure somebody at the table was like, I'd like to just be at the table. The reality is, he said, listen, I'm with you, I'm the leader, and I came to serve. So this show today is about us being like Christ. It's about us stepping up and being leaders. So I have a few guests today in the lounge, and we're going to talk about it. So let's stop right there, sit back, relax, and I'll see you in a few moments.
I've always been drawn to hands. I think it's because it's the way that we touch people. I have this theory that if one person can go out of their way to show compassion, it could start a chain reaction. Sometimes I don't understand why having a walk with God is so hard for me. Why do you hang around those guys? They're bullies. Is that what you want to be known for?
Later, lame-o.
I'm not like my friends.
Are you spiritual or something?
I just want to live my life for Jesus and care about people. Hey, can I help you?
No.
Come on, you must need something.
I can take care of myself.
I'm not so sure.
What's up, Borat?
I thought it was going to be different this year.
Is this some kind of prank?
I want to be a light, but it feels so dark.
Life's gonna be hard sometimes, but he's there. As hard as that is to grasp, he's in control.
Never gonna change what's happening in there.
It's just the way the world is.
Well, I want to change the world. Compassion is the greatest form of love that humans have to offer. Test it out for yourself and see the difference that it can make in the lives around you. Tomorrow's not a promise, but it's a chance. You just might start a chain reaction. Jesus gave his life for me, and I'll give my life to him.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the lounge, the MBK Lounge. I'm here with my first guest, Brother Leon Tucker. I know him quite well. Welcome to the lounge, baby. What's happening?
I'm good, Greg.
Good seeing you. Glad you could be here with us.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what we're talking about today. We're talking about the call to service. You are a family man. You have children. You're married, the whole bit, but yet you serve. So what ministry do you serve on?
I serve with you in the Seedlings Children's Ministry, which is has really been an honor and a tremendous experience that's been fulfilling for me on so many levels.
Well, one of the things that is that we have a need in general, right, for people to serve in the church. And, I've been doing a lot of reading and looking at, just our church in general. We have a lot of men, a lot of guys watching today who are saying, I would like to serve, but I don't know how I could fit it in. I don't really have the time. You have a job, family, kids. How is it that you've been able to fit it in?
Well, you have to make it a part of your life. It has to be plugged into your day-to-day existence. As a father and as a husband, I'm really sensitive about my capacity as a supporter. And as I support my family, I always have a mind towards serving them. One of my prayers every morning is I ask God for new and creative ways to serve my wife.
Okay.
And,
okay.
I think she appreciates that. And because she appreciates it and she gets something and she gets fulfillment out of that, that fills me up.
I think you might too. You get a little something. Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I mean, and that really fills me up. But as far as finding the time, Greg, you have to make it a priority. You have to see the value in it, and the value isn't always a benefit to you. It's being able to serve others and see that there's a benefit that they're walking away with.
So you have been serving in Seedlings Ministry for quite a while, right? You're in a leadership role in the Seedlings Ministry. You hear that, guys? In a leadership role. But at one time, you were not serving. What made you decide, all right, I'm going to get involved?
Quite simple. We have two small children. Okay. And at the time when we decided, when I said we, my wife also serves as an usher, we would ask ourselves, how can we get more involved? We were reaping the benefits of having our son Ethan in the children's ministry. Yeah. And that allowed us to be in the sanctuary, to receive the word. And but we felt like we needed to give back in some way. And so we examined, our likes and our strengths in terms of how we would be able to contribute. Yep. And I tapped into my experience in the media and my experience growing up in television production. And I actually reached out and joined the production ministry. And to me, it was a perfect fit. And I really felt like I was giving back in a major way. And my background is in communications, right. and I believe that the production staff is an extension of the pastor, and the production team is very instrumental in delivering the message and delivering the first impression to the public. So I really felt like that was an extremely important ministry to be a part of, and I was happy to serve in that capacity.
So here's the thing. This is MBK Lounge, show about men. You serve in a ministry where only about 20% of the ministry, out of 130 people, are men. But you get to see the impact of what you can have on the children as men. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it really is all about impact, Greg.
Yeah.
And young people, children, and our young men in particular, they need to see us up there. They need to see that we view and embrace service as a priority. Yeah. And in addition to that, we can instill some of our values as men and help guide them and direct them as men growing up. And if we don't have men in these ministries, particularly children's ministries and ministries where we're visible, there really is a limited amount of opportunity to impress upon them morals and values and how you carry yourself
and how to be a man.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So to me, it's about that impact and having the opportunity to demonstrate to young people that men are actively involved, men are committed to children and families, men are committed to their church, and it's okay to praise God and to not be worried about what everybody else thinks, which I think is an issue for young people these days.
Yeah. Well, Leon, I really appreciate you coming on the show, and but I want to give you the final word. There's a guy out there right now saying, "I hear you, maybe." What would you say to him?
You know, really, it's about looking within yourself and seeing the value that you have, the things in your life that you can offer that other people can walk away from it. Whether it's cooking, or if you have background in security, or if you have an affinity or a connection that you make with children. This is valuable, and we really have to think about not only the value that we can deliver to the people who we serve in these ministries, but also the overall value of what comes along with having people to help the church run in a way where we're not distracted by some of the things that would make the experience, the spiritual experience in church, to hold that up. So really, I mean, don't be afraid. I mean, think about how you can help and serve, and then get up and do it. I mean, really, you'll be very happy and extremely fulfilled when you make that decision.
That's what's up. That's what's up, Leon. Appreciate you coming on the show, and I like the way he said, "Just get up and do it. Don't be scared." And I hope nobody's scared. This is a men's show. But either way, this is just the beginning. This is the call to service. That was just a snippet. So again, stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Check out Divine Cuts in Newcastle, Delaware, promoting a family, faith-filled environment. Call or book your appointment online today.
Hey guys, welcome back to MBK Lounge. We're going to keep things rolling. Have my next guest in the lounge here with me, Kwame Guy. What's up, man?
How you doing, Greg?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Kwame Guy is on the usher team,
Yes.
Right? That's correct?
That's correct.
All right. So, listen, you know what we're talking about today. We're talking about trying to get the men more involved. This is the call to service, right? So Kwame, what made you get involved? What made you go from I'm just sitting in the church to I'm going to step up?
It's a good question, Greg. About 10 years when I joined Seeds of Greatness, it was actually when I attended the men's conference in the Poconos that the pastor spoke to the men in the congregation and said, "We need more men to serve." And at that moment, I realized that was something I needed to do. So when I came back from the men's conference, I began to look around at different ministries to see which ones I can get involved in. Initially, I got involved in the Entrepreneurs Club with Glenn Barnes.
Yep.
Later, I decided to join with AB in the seniors ministry at Kentmere on Sundays after church. And then later, I decided to join the ushers ministry. So it really has evolved from one ministry to the next. And I really felt a desire within my own heart to serve and give back to the church.
All right, I didn't even know all that. I didn't know you. So it's been layered for you over time.
It surely has.
Okay, all right. So check this out. So I know that you're a single father. You have a job. I know you work out. You're a very busy man. You're trying to juggle everything. How do you stay involved in the ministry? Given your busy schedule.
That's a good point. As a single parent raising two daughters, my schedule is very busy and hectic. However, I think it just requires a little planning and effort on my part to make sure that things are running smoothly at my home so that I can participate and serve in the ministries.
Yeah. Now, listen, neither one of us are experts, right? But we understand that as men, there's something going on, right? There's something that makes us not get as involved. We come to church. What are some of the things that you believe could be keeping the guys from serving more?
I think it's a combination of things. I know me initially, I didn't initially jump right into ministry. At first, I kind of observed and thought what would be the best capacity for me. I also didn't want to stand out. So I think guys sometimes don't want to stand out, or they don't want to be up front. And because they might be a little more laid back, they want to take that laid back position. I think if we get outside of our comfort zone, which what required me to do that, right? I had to get outside my own comfort zone and to think outside of me and say, how can I be of service to other members in the congregation, and how can I serve the body of Christ? And as a Christian and as a member of Seeds of Greatness, I think it's imperative and important for me to serve and be in various capacities within the church.
Yeah, and what's cool about that is when people come into one of the ministries I serve on, I tell them, I say, listen, we're not looking for TD Jakes. We're not looking for everybody to be this, one particular role. There's a lot of things either within the ministry that I'm in or across all the ministries in the church that people can do. So what I hear you saying is that, look, take the talents and gifts that you have and just get involved, right?
That's the key, is that you got to find out what's right for you. And there are so many ministries in the church to get involved in. You have to take a time and meet with the brothers and talk to different individuals who are in those ministries to find out more about those ministries. Because there are so many areas and opportunities to serve within Seeds of Greatness that one thing may not be right for you, may be right for someone else. But take the opportunity to get outside of your comfort zone and to take a stab at trying something different, something new. And one of the byproducts that I acquired or discovered as being a part of different ministries was that it enabled me to get to know people like yourself, and it developed stronger relationships with other men.
So you like the fact that you know me?
I love the fact that I know you.
And it's funny, that's one of the things I was going to ask you about is, what do you get out of it? So you've gotten to kind of expand your network, getting to know people and things like that?
One of the biggest advantages of being a part of Seeds of Greatness Ministries is that you get to develop strong relationships with other brothers and other leaders within the church. And it also develops relationships in a way that you would never have developed those relationships had you not taken the opportunity to serve and participate. So for me personally, it's allowed me to get to know you and other brothers in a much greater level. So I think it's important to serve because it really enables you to do many, many different things beyond the capacity that you ever imagined had you not served.
So here's the thing, Kwame, we're both guys, right? We're dudes, right? We know that there's going to be some guys out there watching the show saying, yeah, I'm watching Siege TV. Yeah, they're talking about how I need to serve. All right. I mean, that's us, right? So if there was anything that you could say after, someone, said that to you or knowing that that's how we think, what would you tell them? This is the call to service. What would you say to them that will move them off the chair or out the pew to get more involved?
My first thought would be get outside your comfort zone. Take the risk that you thought was too difficult to take. Jump in there, hands first, feet first, and take the opportunity and seize the opportunity to be a part of something bigger and better than you.
Kwame, man, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. I'm glad you are in the lounge with me today. And hopefully, guys, that this is starting to sink in. You're starting to see that serving and being a part of various ministries is a good thing, but we're not done. So don't move, stay right there. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the lounge. I'm sitting here with my next guest, Mr. Neil Collins. What's up, Neil? Welcome to the lounge. Greg. Everything is good?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, here's the thing. We're talking about the call to service, right? Speaking to the men, we're really trying to encourage them to get more involved. And what's really cool about having you in the lounge today is Neil, I'm not exactly sure I know what title you have at church when it comes to serving. Yeah. But what's unique about you is that you serve in so many capacities that it's not even really relevant what your title is. You're the guy who, when things need to be picked up, dropped off, built, whatever it is, man, you're there doing it, So to me, as I was, talking about the show when it first opened up and people wanting to have titles, wanting to have various names tied to them.
Yeah.
You might have one, but I don't know what it is, man.
Okay.
And it's just cool to watch you do what you do. So
Thank you.
So share with us a little bit about what drives you, man, to be just involved in church and just take on all of what I see you doing.
Well, I think the major thing that drives me is that everything that I'm able to do, it's a blessing from God. And when I first joined Seeds, I was more of a laid back, sit back person, and I just watched things and I saw how things were working. And the first ministry that I joined was the ushers ministry. And as I watched some of the brothers usher, they made it look so easy. You know, they did it in a smooth way. And so I said, that's something that I can do. But although at that time I was more of a laid back person, and I'm not really at that time a people person. I mean, I would speak to you, I would have a conversation with you, but I wasn't as outgoing. So as I began to usher, I began to be more comfortable in the church, form more relationships in the church, and just have more fun just by serving people in the capacity of an usher. And from there was a need for the grounds crew.
That's right.
Yeah, from there was a need for a grounds crew.
Okay.
And how I got involved in that was, once again, the blessings from God. Because my mother for years did her own lawn, and I would help her do the lawn, but she was a major lawn person. She loved doing the lawn.
Right.
And she always bought her own mowers. Well, her mower went down, so I had to find her another mower. So in the process of finding her another mower, I found this great deal on a mower. It was just outstanding. So I said, you know, that's a blessing from God. God blessed me to the point that I don't have to pay the world's prices for the world's goods. So I started using my mower at the church.
Here's what's interesting, though. I mean, it's you know, I had several guests come on there, and they've talked about the different things that they've done, and they talked about how you don't necessarily have to be up front, but what you do is you do a lot behind the scenes. Like, I remember when you were an usher, right? And I forgot that you are on the lawn crew, but in the Seedlings ministry, when we had to get stuff, you know, picked up, dropped off, and I mean, you're literally all over the place, and a lot of people don't even know it. They don't even know that you kind of have your own ministry. I mean, do you realize that?
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't even have like a title. I mean, basically, you've decided to just see a need and fill a need.
Well, once again, that's another blessing from God, because around the same time that I joined the church, God blessed me with the capabilities of starting my own business, which entailed me having a box truck. So when we were going to places such as the Chase Center for Easter or Thanksgiving and the church, we had to move things from point A to point B. There was my blessing that could be used in a way for the kingdom of God. So all that just fell right into place also. So,
and plus, it's nice to have a truck. There's somebody out there right now that's saying, man, I wish I had some money to get a truck. Well, you got involved, and I'm noticing a trend here. You got blessed with a mower. You got blessed with a truck. And those are just things. Right. I imagine that there's a whole lot of other benefits that you have, you know, that you're also seeing too. You talked earlier about getting to know other people.
Oh, truly.
I mean, so, I'm noticing a theme, and I'm hoping the guys are noticing a theme.
Well, even as an usher, you know, it's more than just seating people and finding a seat for people. There was an occasion when there was a church member that was having a bad day. And at the end of the service, everybody filed out of the church, and I was just standing back ready to check that everything was picked up. And I noticed this person with their head down, just sobbing. So I went to the person and hugged them and asked, was everything all right? And she said, no.
Did anybody tell you to do that?
Nobody told me to do that.
You just did it?
That's right.
Okay.
So I did get someone to pray with her. And that was, for her, that was a bad day. I don't know exactly what the situation was, but that was a very bad day for her. She was very sad. But then after that, each time that I saw that person, she had a smile on her face. And she made her point to come to me with that smile. And no matter what else was going on in her life, she was just smiling constantly. I never saw her sad like that again. And that's really fulfilling. You know, it really makes you understand that God has you here for more reasons than just to say, have a seat. He has you here to help someone that has a need.
Well, Neil, check this out. So what I like to do when anybody's in the MBK Lounge is to give them the final word, right?
Okay.
I want you to think about anybody who's watching you and I talking today, and they're still not sure that they want to get involved. Okay. Briefly, what would you say to that guy who is still, you know, kind of teetering between maybe I will, maybe I won't?
Okay, well, I would say from the aspect of our church, we have so many things going on at the church that you can just about jump in and get involved in anything, but anything that we do is so beneficial to the children, beneficial to the seniors. And when we get involved in the ideas that the pastor and the first lady and our leadership has, we're protecting them. We're building them up. We're strengthening them so that they can go out and be more beneficial to the community, to the world, by us backing them up, standing in the gap for them. So that strengthens the whole church just by us working in the church and serving. Each time that you help do something in the church, whether it be help set up for an event, we have multiple events, VBS, fall festivals, weddings. Anytime that you do something like that, it just enlarges the vision of the church.
Yep.
People see what the church is doing, and they see the church running smoothly. Even guests come in and say, wow, I want to be a part of that church, because they really have their act together. They really work together. And just what God just blesses you with as you serve with, say, for example, on the grounds crew, all we do is laugh and joke, have a good time. We pray, we laugh, joke, and sometimes we don't even know how we get the work done because we have so much fun. And we have, we just build relationships through that.
Neil, I appreciate you coming into the lounge today, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate everything that you do.
My pleasure.
And guys, look, today we talked about getting involved. Today was about the call to service. I've talked to 3 people today from different ministries, different walks of life, that I hope encourage you to do more. And you just heard Neil talk about how it benefits the vision, how it benefits the children. You know, I did a little bit of research, and it talked about the effect of men in the church. And one of the things that a seminary looked at when they did this study, it showed that when men are involved, it improves the harmony, the health, and the increase or growth in that church. And as men decline in their involvement, it actually leads to a steady decline of the church. And all 3 guys talked about how it benefited them and their families and their children and their network and all kinds of stuff. So I'm hoping that today, the men at Seeds and any church that's watching, that the men decide to get more involved. So thanks for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Be blessed and be strong in the Lord.